Very warm welcome to today's edition of our learning tutorial. I'm JK of JK Clothing. Today we're going to learn how to draft, cut and sew this beautiful straight dress you see right here. This is a straight dress with an illusion at the front, with an illusioned sleeve, which also has several layers of spiral flounces on the various shoulders. Again, we have a slitted skirt that also lies beneath this beautiful straight dress. If this is something you'd want to learn how to do, please do stick and stay and let's do it together. Before we can do this style, we first would have to draft our basic bodice. As usual, if you are new to our channel and you'd want to learn how we drafted this basic bodice, I'll put the link in the description box. You can as well check the top right corner of your screen. In modifying our basic bodice, whereas the shoulder that ended here, we would extend it further to touch the shoulder to nipple point here. We'll divide the shoulder length, excluding the dart interval we have here, into 3, and then we pick 1 from this side and draw a line connecting this point all the way to the nipple point through this line and onto the front here. We are going to cut these two pieces apart. We are doing away with this dart and we'll do away with this dart as well. And so let's cut this off, but then we'll come and join this piece to this part of the pattern. Bear in mind, if this is joined like this forms part of the front part and this is the dart, which we are going to take off. So let me shade the dart area so that we are not confused. We are going to do away with the shaded portions. This is what we have. We've been able to convert our shoulder dart and our waist dart into this very design we see here. And we are going to use this to cut our skin net, and then we'll use this to cut the fabric itself. When it comes to the back, because the front shoulder will be joining the back shoulder, we would first have to find out where the front would meet the back. So matching the two shoulders together from this armhole point, this is where the back would end. And so we're going to cut this through and also give the design we want to give at the back. I wouldn't want it to go down this much. Let me end it here. And so this is the shape I want to use. So this is where we're going to insert our skin net, and this is it for the front, and the rest will be that of the fabric. So this is it for the front and this is it for the back. We'll go ahead and use this to cut our fabrics. But before then, I want to straighten this part of the back. So these are the parts where we added our seam allowance. The part which will be joined to the net, that is where we added our allowance for this, and we did same for the center front, which is our skin net too. And so we cut this on fold, as you see here. When it comes to the other one too, we transferred this, that is the dart we have here, onto the fabric we're going to use. And also we added seam allowance to this part that we had cut off, where we'll be joining our skin net to it at the back. We're going ahead to do the stitching of the various pieces together. And so we are stitching our dart. We'll go ahead after stitching the dart to join the various shoulders together. That is the shoulders of the front and the back patterns. Then we join the shoulders for the net. To be able to cut the flounce that you see, we first have to measure from the down part here all the way to this portion. And so measuring from this point all the way to that point, excluding the allowance at the back here and the allowance beneath, we are having 5 inches. And then with this 5 inches, I'm making sure that I do more than 5 inches because I'd want it to be long enough to fold it a bit. This gives us the flower nature of our flounce. This is how we draw the spiral flounce. You start with a plus and then you draw a circle, but then as it goes ahead, it gets bigger. The circle never ends. So that's what you do till you get to the last bottom. And so as it goes ahead, you draw something like a coil shape. And so it gets bigger and bigger as you go ahead. So with this, we're going to cut this fabric, and this fabric should be a fabric that does not fray off when you cut, because we wouldn't finish the edges unless of course you want to finish the edges as part of your design. Also, the layers should be as many as your machine can carry, or as you also prefer in the design. When it comes to the measurement starts from this. And so you measure all around till you get to this portion. It wouldn't come all the way to this part, no, but then to where this is ending. This is where you get the actual length. And so I'd measure from here all the way to this point and see if it surpasses the 5 inches. And so in measuring this, I get 11 inches. And so with this cut, we're going to divide it into 2. And then one side will go to one side of the design and the other will go to the other side. We are going to fix it onto our space as you see it here. We are now going to match our shoulder seam for the net and our shoulder seam for the fabric itself. We match the two together and then we'll stitch from here downwards, and then we'll stitch the other side too at the back. So right now, as we've stitched this side to the net, we'll do same for the other side of our garment. This is what we get after fixing our net in the middle. Now we go ahead and cut a sleeve to fix onto our armhole. But how do you cut this sleeve? I'll put a link of how we cut our basic shirt sleeve in the description box. Now we are going to insert our sleeve into the various armholes. And so we are repeating same for the other side of the dress. And so this is how we deal with the down part of our dress. This is our waist, our hip, our knee, and then we're going to do that of our length, and then we'll continue. This is the length of our skirt. Because of the flary nature of the down part, I brought the same measurement I got for the knee area to this part, and then I added 1.5 inches to it. This depends on how flary you want it to be. Okay, so I've joined this to that. What you are doing is that this is the waist divided by 4. This is the hip divided by 4. This is the hip divided by 4 plus the seam allowance. But then deducting 1.5 to 2 inches from it, depending on how small you want this part to be. So this is the hip. This is the waist, the knee, and the length or the hem. From the waist to the hip is about 8 inches regular. From the hip to this knee point is about 10 inches for a regular person. This length is 7 inches. That is the total length is 7 inches. But then we have added half for finishing the hem and also the waistline. With this, we'll go ahead and cut and use the same thing to cut our fabric, making sure that for the back, we'll leave some allowance for the zipper or for the closure at the back. Lest I forget, you do not want this part to be straight. What you do is that whatever length you got from the knee to this point, that is to the hem, you will lift it up whilst you are holding this area. And so this is where, in actual fact, the side hem should be. It shouldn't be this straight. And then it curves all the way till it gets down here. Looking at the design very well, you as well see a bit of shape at the front part of the skirt. And so we'll shape that as well here before we use this to go and cut our fabric. Bear in mind, this would affect only the front and not the back. This is what we have for the front, and this is what we have for the back. And so we're going ahead to stitch this together. We'll then join this to the top. We join the back skirts to the back tops as well. We're now going to slit one side of the thighs. I'm taking about 4 inch, and this gets to somewhere very close to the upper part of the thighs. We are just cutting it through. The length is very determined by your preference. We will then go and then run overlock stitches on the edges to prevent it from fraying off. Then we will stitch it to secure the edges. Right now, we're almost done with our dress. We'll go ahead and then stitch the seam allowance on the edges off. We're now going to close our back, and then we fit it onto our dummy and add our embellishments. So this is our dress so far. We are left with adding our rhinestones, and our pearls to it, just to beautify the whole thing. And so let's go ahead and add it. Wow, this is so stunning, so beautiful. Thanks so much for watching from the beginning till the end. Please don't forget to subscribe if you are new to our channel. Don't also forget to share with us your comments. Thanks so much. We are growing a very big community. Please be part of us. Thank you.